back into it. I got cut off. This stupid computer get on my nerves. I said, but we starting all over again. So let's get into the topics. First off, like, share, subscribe, join the channel. It's your boy. So we're gonna get into a good time and let's get down to the message today. And let's get into it. First, the one and only Mr. Donald Trump. So apparently there was a lot of breaking news that went on today. But first up, let's get into what he ended up putting on his social media. And that was this right here. Hold up. I'm going to bring it out. This right here. So he ended up bringing this out, letting us know that there was a in total deceased assist fire. Hope I'm pronouncing it right. Assist fire between Iran and Israel. And he said, and there is supposedly a agreement of peace on the way. Apparently, the news ended a breaking news reporters ended up having to come out and say this is not true. There's no reports from anybody from either side or even the army to even say that what he said was even true. They said he is allowed to come out and say something, but it's not factual. I said, huh? Well, he giving us a fib. So apparently turned around later on. I said I went and checked out to see like what's going on because something fishy. So this is what happened later on this day when once I went and looked for it, it ended up finding out that Iran had confirmed that there is a ceasefire agreement with Israel that they are now not going at each other at this moment. They had come to an agreement. We don't know how much this agreement is gonna go, how long it's gonna last. We don't know if there will be a peace treaty or not. We don't know. But on top of that, Israel ended up prior today, before this peace treaty or anything even happened, not Israel, but Iran we ended up finding out that there was breaking news that Iran actually retaliated against the US because the US bombed their three facilities. So they came and set off missiles towards the army, US Army base that is in, I want to say, Israel. One of the army base they have there now missiles towards there. I don't know if any soldiers were injured. It wasn't really clear if anybody got injured. But if they did or anything, hopefully they're safe. That's what went on earlier before all of this had happened. Since now that there is an agreement in with these two countries, hopefully things do nothing else happened. The United States ended up coming out to say that there would be no retaliation on their part for right now. And I said, this man right here that's running our country, he is the one that we have to worry about, because it's like Iran is one thing, but he is the main person that we have to worry about, because he's up there doing things like he's doing now, telling nobody. He just doing it. And then the army is, people at the top of the army are just like, y'all are just not really doing anything about it or saying no or anything, just going along with it. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about it in the comments. But let's move on past that. Let's get into the next thing that we got up, and that is well, it's coming from the UK, and we got a driver a serial test imposter. So this man, this happened over in the UK. This man had actually took the driving theory test. They call it driving theory test over there. Taking the driving test. He took it 11 times. So he thought he's a college student over there. He thought he was slick. So this man would actually go to the different driving facilities around London, not London, around the UK area. He was in was it Birmingham, London, somewhere over there. He was going to different places and actually taking tests for people. He was charging $300, but check this out. He didn't even have driving license himself. So he would actually change up his hairstyle to try to make it like, he was that impersonating that person, because he had the person's I would say he had their temps and a copy of their ID, their temporary ID. He had because he was taking the test charging $300. But catch this out, he thought that they wasn't gonna catch on, because they said he couldn't change that face. He could change the hair and the clothing, but never that face. So the driving people actually caught on, and on his 12th try, he was taking the test for one of his clients, and he actually passed it. So it was time for him to take the driving part of the test, and that's where he got arrested. So he was doing this for 19 months. Yeah, it was a 19-month operation. He was making $300. I said, damn, you making some good money over there, 300 pounds. So now he actually was charged, and he will end up serving 8 months in prison. I said, Lordly. I said, you over there in the UK prison. I said, ooh, good luck with you. Shoot, you should have thought about that one. That's a prison you do not want to be in. But I said, good luck, sir. I hope you don't do that again, or any type of crime. He was charged with fraud, impersonation. So tell me how y'all feel about that. Let's move on past that. Let's get into this one. Here we got LA, ATL Jabbar. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Jacoby. Yeah, Jacoby. So we got producer Jacoby. So this man ended up was on he was on, I want to say TikTok, and he was actually talking about his baby mama. This loser of a loser said that he told the mother of his child that she need to go out there and get her a good man, because he ain't taking care of them kids. He got 2 kids by his baby mama. I said, what? And to actually hear this come out of this man's mouth, I said, you laid down with her, knowing that if you didn't use protection, the consequences were you was gonna have a child. She was probably going to keep the kid, because that's her right. She's the one who has to make the decision on keeping the kid or not. And you knew that, but you told her you was gonna be a deadbeat dad. She didn't go out there and get her a man, and and he'll be the good poppy, stepdad, because you're gonna be a deadbeat. And I said, wow. It's like, it's very, yeah, you was honest, but you didn't have to take her through there. She could. I don't want to blame her. It's like you had 2, but my thing is you had 2 kids with him. It's a difference. It's like the first kid, he told you that, it's like, okay, you know what you're dealing with. But the second time, it's like, damn. Now you already know what the situation is, and you still gonna go down this road and actually have get it caught up in another situation where you got two kids by a loose ass man who told you need to go out here and find you a good man, have a good they can have a good stepdaddy because he ain't gonna be there. And for him to come out now and say this, it's like, how you gonna explain this to your daughters when they get to a teenager and they see this because it's out there? That's the crazy thing about it. But good luck, girl. Tell me how y'all feel about it. Let's move on past that. Let's get into next thing up. So the Supreme Court then actually ruled in resuming deportation for migrants to go to third world countries other than go back to their homeland. I said, that don't make sense. It don't. It's like he's just rounding up people just to round them up. And now, like, they ran from their original home, but now you finna transport them to a whole nother place that they have never even seen, that can be even worse off than where they was originally from, and then when they can just stay here where they was trying to get to anyway, and were already here, what, rebuilding their life. But he gonna do what he gonna do, and for the Supreme Court to just decide this and keep on letting him just do what he want to do is there's nobody making this man accountable or holding him. I can't do him. I can't do him. I can't do him. He's been in a lot in the news lately, and it's just really pathetic. Moving on. So let's get into some of the. Okay, switch over. So now let's get into Portia's. Well, now the ex-wife of her ex-husband, Simon ex-wife, came out to debunk what Portia said, because Portia ended up saying after getting divorced, like everything and stuff, there was a report where there was an incident where Portia ended up saying that she had paid for child support because the ex-wife ended up coming to her and talking about she needed help, so she was helping her out. So apparently the ex-wife ended up coming to bringing proof that she never came to her. She said it was about she was talking about a bookshelf. I said, girl, a bookshelf home. She said, yeah, I swear I ain't coming to her for nothing like that. I said, girl, Portia, we know Portia's a straight up liar and stuff. I said, oh my. And she said she actually gave text messages and stuff like that she posted that went on between her and Portia. And I'm like, we know Portia a lie. We know that if she even helped or not, why would you even speak about it now? It's like she's not even a part of the family anymore. I said, so I'm a little confused, but okay, you just want to be relevant right along with her. But move on to the next. Let's get into my girl Kiki, Miss Palmer. So Miss Palmer ended up talking about her split with her ex/baby daddy, saying that she wanted a baby and a statement. I said, girl, how you gonna have, girl, you wanted a statement? A statement when you had Ike Turner. You had Ike Turner with footage of Ike Turner dragging you down, slinging you down some steps. Girl, he was never a stabman. A stabman had a job making his own coin, taking care of his own business. This man harassing you, everything in front of the children. It's like you had an Ike and Tina moment all the way through from beginning to end. And you talking about I wanted a baby and a stead. Oh, girl, that dream. I said, and I still today don't know what I said. So, what did he do anyway, other than was his brother was an actor or a basketball player? He was or both, one or the other. It's like other than that, I didn't know the man. I said, but you, yeah, girl, move along. I can't with Kiki. So, oh Lord, she back again. So we got Miss Portia back on the scene again. So Portia ended up she did some interview. I don't know who she was talking to, but she ended up crying about she all about, her heart. So apparently her heart was so broken by Simon Gobordia that she don't know if she ever love again. She was just begging on if she should date women. I said, girl, I think you've been dating women this whole entire time, even while you was with the men. So it didn't matter if you was debating it or not. She said it's gonna take me a long time to get over this. I said, girl, no, it's not. I said, how you in love with somebody that you ain't even know? But yeah, she did this crime spell. I said, girl, I couldn't. I said the crime was not even working for me. I was like, okay, so I was avoiding dating and stuff. I need to find myself. I said, girl, you should have found yourself a long time ago when you got divorced from the hips man you was married to the first time. And he used you and left you with nothing. And this time around, you ended up grabbing somebody else, man. It ended up in the same boat you was in again. But this time around, you actually left on the paper. You leaving with something, but we don't know if he gonna actually pay you. That's the big thing we gonna find out. If you gonna have alimony, you're gonna keep that house or refinance it in 2027 to sell it. But good luck with your future and everything else, Portia. And I used to like Portia. I used to like her, but the girl gotta go. Okay. Next up, oh, we got oh yeah, we got Miss Jamia. So we got Miss Jamia. So Miss Jamia ended up putting a post after the episode of last night. Last night, Atlanta Housewives, where there was some stuff that came out where Britt invited, it was Portia. Was it Portia and Phaedra? If I remember right. I think it was Portia to her house, and she spilled some tea on Miss Shamia, saying that Shamia actually showed text messages of her talking bad about Portia. And the text message she showed that she ended up showing was about Portia. There was a conversation Portia um had with Shamia that was about her. It was an intimate conversation she had with her therapist. Yeah, and so also Shamia came back to let us know that that's not true. That she first of all, oh, because said also used that Shamia had used Kelly's glam squad. And she came out to address that that's not true. She said, I showed up. I'm just paraphrasing. Said she showed up for her friend to support her friend Kelly when Kelly went to the court because, court for her divorce case on the show, having a hard time. And then she said, I never use Kelly stylist. I said, girl, you a lie. I said, girl, you lying. Then I said, too, she said she never showed. She said she never shown lying. She never shown lying at Brett any Texas. And I said, girl, I said them Texas was conversation between y'all that it was certain things in the conversation that you are the only person that should have known. There's no way that Brett should have known exactly what was in it. So it's like we know your mouth runs over a lot, and apparently you don't remember most of the time. Like your bestie don't remember most of the time, and we know Kelly don't remember anything. She also went on to say she never brings up what someone does or does not do with their body. Girl, down. Girl, get out of here, lie. I said, girl, use the lie of the lie. I said, I see why you now Kelly, because Kelly faker did her on her face anyway. But yeah, let's move on. Let's get into my girl Cardi. So Cardi then announced that her album will be coming out September 19th. I said it's been 7 long years, and she ended up today. I said she ended up posting today that she actually had posted to Atlanta Records that she was she apologized to them, and stuff like that, because she had took so long being patient with her. Been 7 years. She didn't put out a couple of bops here and there, but finally it's time for the sophomore album. I said it's been overdue time, but I understand, this divorce, and then hopefully you go through with this divorce is the question. But I'm glad this album was coming because I can't wait. Because I love the song Outside. That's my stuff. That is my stuff. So congratulations to Cardi. Can't wait till September 19th. And it better be banging. It better be banging. That's all I need to say. So let's move on to the last thing we got up, and that will be Mr. Pharrell, Mr. Williams. So he is suing a t-shirt company, Spreadshirt, for $14 million over their fake billionaire shirt club merch. And congratulations to him on that, because I said there's no way in hell I'm paying $300 for a t. I would never pay $300 for no t-shirt. But good for him, for them trying to cheap market his shirt and product that he made with his brand. So congratulations to him. But that's all that I got for y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. It's your boy Paul. All I need for y'all to do is like, share, subscribe, and join the channel. Y'all have a nice day. Bye, y'all.